Hello friends, welcome back to a brand new session of chemistry. Now today we are going to start a new chapter in the series of study of compounds. Now this will be the last chapter in this series, that is sulfuric acid. Okay, we have already completed hydrochloric acid and hydrogen chloride, then ammonia and nitric acid. So this is the last in this series of study of compounds, that is sulfuric acid. Now sulfuric acid is called as the king of chemicals. Now, why it is called as the king of chemicals? Because it is the most widely used chemical both in industry as well as the laboratory. Now don't ask me who is the queen, okay? So sulfuric acid is widely used in the laboratory as well as in various industries. So it is called as the king of all chemicals. Now earlier it was also known as oil of vitriol. Yes, why? Because it was prepared from green vitriol as an oily viscous liquid. So oil of vitriol, okay? Now because the demand for sulfuric acid is very high in the industry, there is no laboratory method for preparing sulfuric acid. Directly you have an industrial method or a large scale preparation of sulfuric acid. And of course general methods are there, like if you remember in nitric acid we have seen the oxidation of the non-metal sulfur by nitric acid results in formation of sulfuric acid. So those general methods are there, like you dissolve sulfur trioxide in water, you get sulfuric acid. But there is no laboratory method. Directly we are having the industrial method. Now this industrial method for preparation of sulfuric acid is called as the contact process. Okay, now again in contact process you have to know only the steps involved and what are the reactions with the reaction conditions. Details of the contact process, all theoretical part with respect to contact process which is there in your school textbook, that is not there in the syllabus. Okay, so now the steps involved in the contact process will be, first is production of sulfur dioxide. Now you will produce sulfur dioxide either by burning sulfur in an atmosphere of oxygen or you burn iron pyrites. Okay, now once you get sulfur dioxide, then you are passing this sulfur dioxide and oxygen through a contact tower, that is called as the catalytic oxidation of sulfur dioxide to sulfur trioxide. Okay, now this will take place in presence of vanadium pentoxide. V2O5 is the catalyst, then potassium oxide is the promoter. Yes, and the temperature for the reaction is 450 to 500 degrees and the pressure is 1 to 2 atmosphere. Okay, so this is again a reversible and a exothermic reaction. Okay, now once you obtain sulfur trioxide, now it is but natural that you may say that you will directly dissolve sulfur trioxide in water and get sulfuric acid. Yes, but when you try to dissolve sulfur trioxide in water, this it is a highly exothermic reaction. Okay, and a dense fog of sulfuric acid is formed which is difficult to condense. So on a large scale this is not feasible. So instead of directly adding sulfur trioxide to water, what we are doing, we will add sulfur trioxide to concentrated sulfuric acid only. Yes, in the preparation of sulfuric acid we are using sulfuric acid only. Now this sulfuric acid you may have obtained by the oxidation of sulfur and nitric acid. So you require a small quantity of concentrated sulfuric acid. So you dissolve that sulfur trioxide in it to form a compound which is called as oleum or pyrosulfuric acid, that is called as H2S2O7. Okay, and then you are going to dilute this oleum with required quantity of soft water to ultimately obtain sulfuric acid of the desired concentration, which is generally 98%. Okay, so the steps means all the reactions and what is the step involved, that is very important. Okay, so we'll just have a look at the reactions. Just pay attention here. Now the name of the process is very important, that is contact process. So the question can be, name the industrial method for preparation of sulfuric acid, give the steps involved along with balanced chemical equations. Okay, so maybe 4 or 5 marks question. So name of the process is contact process. Steps are, first production of sulfur dioxide. Now either you write this reaction or this reaction. Burning of sulfur in an atmosphere of oxygen to form SO2 or burning of iron pyrites. Iron pyrites is FeS2. Okay, 4 FeS2, that is the iron pyrites, plus oxygen will give you ferric oxide plus sulfur dioxide. Now the sulfur dioxide which is so obtained is then passed through a catalytic chamber. So next step is catalytic oxidation of sulfur dioxide to sulfur trioxide. Okay, so 2SO2 plus O2 reversible reaction will give you 2SO3. plus 45 kilocalories. So it's an exothermic reaction. Now V2O5, this is the catalyst, that is vanadium pentoxide. Now earlier platinum or platinized asbestos etc. were being used, but now vanadium pentoxide is the preferred catalyst. Okay. Then the promoter is potassium oxide. Now I hope you remember what a promoter is. It enhances the efficiency of the catalyst. Yes, very good. Now you remember in ammonia also there was a catalyst and promoter. Yes, what was the catalyst in ammonia? Yes, very good. Finely divided iron was the catalyst in ammonia and promoter was molybdenum. Okay, so you remember by comparison, it's easier for you to remember. Temperature 450 to 500 degrees Celsius and pressure is 1 to 2 atmosphere. So all these are the reaction conditions. Okay. Now once you are getting sulfur trioxide, next step is absorption of sulfur trioxide in concentrated sulfuric acid. So SO3 plus H2SO4 gives you oleum or pyrosulfuric acid, H2S2O7. Okay. And then dilution of oleum with the soft water to obtain sulfuric acid of desired concentration, which is around 98%. Okay, is it clear? So this is a 5-star question. Okay, very, very important. Now you can be asked as to why you are diluting sulfur trioxide in sulfuric acid and not directly in water. So for that, what will you say? That when you add sulfur trioxide to water, yes, it's a highly exothermic reaction and a dense fog of sulfuric acid particles is formed, which is difficult to condense. So to avoid that, we are adding it to sulfuric acid to obtain oleum or pyrosulfuric acid, which on dilution with the required quantity of water will give you sulfuric acid. Okay, is it clear? So this is our industrial method for preparation of sulfuric acid. Okay. Now coming to the physical properties. Now physical properties, as you can see here, color, it is a colorless liquid. Odor, again odorless. Taste, it will have a sour taste. Now all acids, you have to remember, they have a slightly sour taste. Then nature, it is a dense, oily and hygroscopic liquid. Do you remember what is the meaning of hygroscopic? Yes, means when exposed to the atmosphere, it will absorb moisture from the atmosphere. Okay. So because of this property of sulfuric acid, you have to store sulfuric acid in stoppered containers or stoppered bottles. Okay, so that can be asked as a give reason. That is, explain why concentrated sulfuric acid is stored in stoppered bottles. Okay, so because if it is left open, it will absorb moisture from the atmosphere and will get diluted, right? So this is important. Then physiological nature, it is highly corrosive and chars the skin. Chars the skin means the skin will become black. Okay, so you have to be very careful when you are handling all these corrosive acids, sulfuric acid, nitric acid, hydrochloric acid. Okay. Now here, how do you dilute the acid? Now just understand dilution of the acid. Now dilution of the acid is always done by adding the acid to water and not water to the acid. Okay, just understand what is the difference. Now if you do this, that is if you add water to the acid, right? Now acid is in a larger quantity in the beaker, and the moment you add water to it, a highly exothermic reaction is created. Means lot of heat is generated, and because of that heat generated, this acid can spurt out and it can damage your face when you are say you are peeping like that down, you are bending and trying to carry out the dilution. Okay, so you have to be very careful. Do not add water to the acid. Okay, now when you are adding acid to water, okay, when you add acid to water, water is in a larger quantity, right? Now the moment you add acid to water, it is again an exothermic reaction, but acid being heavier, it will try to settle down. Okay, and whatever heat is generated because of the reaction between the acid and water, that gets dissipated in the water itself. Dissipated meaning distributed. Okay, that will get dissipated in the water itself. So it will reduce or minimize the spurting out of the acid. Okay, so understand the difference. You will never dilute by adding water to the acid, but dilution is always done by adding the acid to water. Okay, because here acid being heavier, it will settle down. Okay, the moment it settles down, whatever heat is generated because of the exothermic reaction, that gets distributed in the water itself or dissipated or spreads evenly in the water itself, thereby minimizing the spurting out of the acid. Okay, is it clear? So that is asked as a give reason many times. Okay, clear? So now we'll move to the next part. Okay, now continuing with the properties of sulfuric acid, we'll see the chemical properties of sulfuric acid. Now you all know that sulfuric acid behaves as an acid when it is dilute. Okay, so first property will be its acidic nature. Okay, now why does it behave as an acid when it is dilute? Because only in the dilute solution it undergoes dissociation in aqueous solution to produce the hydronium ions, and it is the hydronium ions which are responsible for the acidic nature of sulfuric acid. Okay, then we have also seen that sulfuric acid is a strong acid. Now on what factor strength of the acid depends? The strength of the acid depends upon the extent of dissociation. Now sulfuric acid undergoes complete dissociation in aqueous solution to form a large concentration of hydronium ion. So again it is a strong acid. So now all the properties of a typical acid. Now what are the typical properties of an acid which we have seen earlier? That is, it will react with the active metals above hydrogen, yes, except lead, to form corresponding salt and with the liberation of hydrogen. Then it will react with the bases, that is oxides and hydroxides, to form salt and water, correct? Then it reacts with carbonates and bicarbonates to form salt, water and gas liberated, yes, very good, carbon dioxide gas. Then it will react with sulfides and bisulfides to form salt, water and sulfur dioxide gas, right? So all these are typical properties of an acid which we have seen in hydrochloric acid also and nitric acid also. Okay, then it will react with the sulfide to form hydrogen sulfide gas, liberate hydrogen sulfide gas. Okay, so this is the first property, that is acidic nature. Then the second property is dibasic nature. Now why is sulfuric acid a dibasic nature? If you have seen acid, bases and salts, you should be able to answer this. Yes, because per molecule of the acid there are 2 hydrogen ions, means it undergoes dissociation in aqueous solution to form 2 hydronium ions. Okay, hence it is dibasic. Di means 2. Now because of its dibasic nature, it is capable of forming 2 types of salts. This again we have done in acid, bases and salts. Now what are the 2 types of salts it forms? A normal salt and an acid salt, right? Now when the alkali taken is in insufficient quantity, like NaOH, when you take in insufficient quantity and you react with concentrated sulfuric acid, right? So what will happen? The NaOH is going to replace only partially the replaceable hydrogen ion. So you are going to get an acid salt, that is sodium bisulfate. And when you take the alkali in excess, both the hydrogens from the acid are going to get replaced. So you get what? A normal salt. Okay, so that is our second property because of its dibasic nature. Then third is sulfuric acid as a non-volatile acid. Now this property also we have seen before in the preparation of hydrogen chloride gas and nitric acid. Because sulfuric acid is non-volatile, means it is having a very high boiling point, 338 degrees Celsius. So it readily displaces the volatile acid, either HCl or HNO3 from the salt, sodium chloride or sodium nitrate, correct? So this non-volatile nature of sulfuric acid is made use of in the preparation of hydrogen chloride gas as well as the nitric acid. That is our third chemical property. Then property that is as an oxidizing agent. Now sulfuric acid, concentrated sulfuric acid is a very good oxidizing agent. Yes, because on thermal decomposition it will give nascent oxygen. So this nascent oxygen will be responsible for bringing about the oxidation of metals and non-metals. So in your syllabus you have oxidation of carbon to carbon dioxide and sulfur to sulfur dioxide, and in metals only copper is there. So copper will get oxidized to form copper sulfate and with the liberation of sulfur dioxide. So this is your fourth property of sulfuric acid. And finally last, that is sulfuric acid behaves as both drying agent and a dehydrating agent. Okay, now I hope you know the difference between drying and dehydrating agent. We have done this in 9th standard. This is the difference between drying and dehydrating. Yes, very good. A drying agent is the one which will remove only the physical traces of moisture from that particular substance, whereas dehydrating agent will remove the chemically combined elements of water, that is hydrogen and oxygen from that substance, okay, means it will react with that substance. So sulfuric acid can behave as both. Now sulfuric acid has very strong affinity for the elements of water, that is hydrogen and oxygen in the ratio 2:1. So it will remove these elements from the substances like glucose or sucrose or ethanol, etc., right, and it will then form corresponding carbon, water, etc., will be liberated. Or it can also react with the water of crystallization present in hydrated salts like blue vitriol, copper sulfate. When you add sulfuric acid to it, it will remove the water of crystallization and the blue crystalline will turn into white amorphous powder. Okay, so that is the dehydrating nature. And drying nature of sulfuric acid we have already seen. In the preparation of hydrogen chloride gas, we used concentrated sulfuric acid to remove the traces of moisture from hydrogen chloride gas. So these are the 5 chemical properties which which I have just explained. Now we will just quickly have a look at the reactions related to these properties. Okay, I have just explained you the basic concept, what is the theory behind these properties. Now reactions, just one or two examples of reactions I have taken here to explain you the concepts. The detailed reactions we will write during the Zoom sessions. Okay, so just pay attention here. Now coming to chemical properties of sulfuric acid, first sulfuric acid as an acid when dilute, means acidic nature. So first is dilute sulfuric acid behaves as an acid when dilute. Why? Because it forms the hydronium ions. So it is these hydronium ions which are responsible for the acidic nature of sulfuric acid. Okay. Then it is a strong acid because it undergoes complete dissociation in aqueous solution to form a large concentration of hydronium ions. Now these are the typical properties of an acid which we were discussing. So first is reaction with active metals except lead. Okay. So active metal plus a dilute acid will give you salt and hydrogen. So gas liberated is hydrogen. So Zn plus H2SO4 will give you ZnSO4 plus H2. Then second, reaction with base. Now bases are either oxides or hydroxides of the metal or of the ammonium radical. So base plus dilute acid will give you salt and water. So just representative reactions we are writing. The detailed reactions we will discuss later in the session. So N2O plus H2SO4 will give you Na2SO4 plus water, salt and water. ZnOH twice plus H2SO4 will give ZnSO4 plus 2H2O. Okay, so this is a basic oxide, basic hydroxide. Okay. Next is reaction with carbonates and bicarbonates. Now carbonates and bicarbonates will react with dilute acid to give salt, water and carbon dioxide gas. Okay. So Na2CO3 plus H2SO4 will give you Na2SO4 plus H2O plus CO2. 2KHCO3 plus H2SO4 will give you K2SO4 plus 2H2O plus 2CO2. Then reaction with sulfides and bisulfides. So that sulfide bisulfide will give dilute acid, salt, water and sulfur dioxide. So Na2SO3 plus H2SO4 will give you Na2SO4, H2O plus SO2. 2NaHSO3, sodium bisulfide plus sulfuric acid will give you Na2SO4, 2H2O plus 2SO2. Okay. So now we will have a look at the next part. Now continuing with the typical properties of an acid, next is reaction with sulfides. So sulfide plus dilute acid will give you salt and hydrogen sulfide. Now what is the characteristic property of hydrogen sulfide? It has a rotten egg odor. So Na2S plus H2SO4 will give you Na2SO4 plus H2S. So all these 5 types of reactions which we saw just now, you can be asked a question like name the gas liberated in case of the following. Dilute sulfuric acid is added to sodium sulfide or dilute sulfuric acid is added to sodium bicarbonate. So gas liberated should be the specific gas with carbonates, bicarbonates, CO2, carbon dioxide. Sulfides and bisulfides, it's sulfur dioxide. With sulfide it is hydrogen sulfide and with active metals it is hydrogen. Okay, so remember that as a question. Now coming to the next chemical property, sulfuric acid as a dibasic acid. Now dibasic acid, that is per molecule of the acid it forms 2 hydronium ions. Okay, so because of that it can form 2 types of salts with the alkali. One is an acid salt, other is a normal salt. So when you take the alkali in insufficient quantity, yes, along with sulfuric acid, you are getting sodium bisulfate, which is an acid salt, plus water. When you take the alkali in excess, both the hydrogens are getting replaced, so Na2SO4 plus 2H2O. So this becomes a normal salt. So this is possible because sulfuric acid is dibasic in nature. Clear? Now third property, sulfuric acid as a non-volatile acid. Non-volatile means it is having a very high boiling point, 338 degrees Celsius. So it can be used to prepare other acids like hydrochloric acid, nitric acid. Correct? So preparation of hydrogen chloride gas, NaCl plus H2SO4 concentrated, less than 200, NaHSO4 plus HCl. This, if you remember, is the laboratory method for preparation of hydrogen chloride gas. Okay, and this NaNO3 plus H2SO4 less than 200, NaHSO4 plus HNO3. This is lab preparation of nitric acid. Okay, now instead of NaCl you can use KCl, and here KNO3 also can be used. Okay, so these reactions are possible because sulfuric acid is non-volatile acid. It is non-volatile in nature. Okay, clear? Now coming to the next property, sulfuric acid as an oxidizing agent. Now sulfuric acid is a strong oxidizing agent because it undergoes thermal decomposition, is to give nascent oxygen. Nascent, you understand? Nascent is just formed. Yes, it is just formed and it is very, very reactive. So externally we are not adding oxygen. Yes, when you are reacting with sulfuric acid in situ means in the reaction itself, the sulfuric acid will produce the nascent oxygen, and that will oxidize the carbon to carbon dioxide. So oxidized product here, carbon getting oxidized to carbon dioxide. Okay, so C plus 2 H2SO4 giving you 2 H2O plus 2 SO2 plus CO2, S plus 2 H2SO4 giving you 3 SO2 plus 2 H2O. Okay, then next is oxidation of metals. So copper is getting oxidized to copper sulfate. So Cu plus 2 H2SO4 giving you CuSO4 plus 2 H2O plus SO2. Now we will move to the next part. Okay, so now continuing with the chemical properties of sulfuric acid, next is sulfuric acid as a dehydrating agent. Yes, now concentrated sulfuric acid is used as both drying and dehydrating agent. I just now explained to you why it is used as both, because it is having a strong affinity for water, so it will remove the elements of water. Elements of water are what? Hydrogen and oxygen in the ratio 2:1 from the compounds. So this is sugar, sucrose with C12H22O11. Okay. Now when you are adding sulfuric acid to it, it will remove that elements of water. So 12C plus 11H2O. Now this particular reaction is many times asked for state your observation. State your observation when sulfuric acid is added to sugar or sucrose. So observation will be black spongy mass of carbon is formed and steam is evolved. So this 12C is nothing but a black spongy mass of carbon along with the liberation of steam. So on the test tube you will see droplets, that steam generally tends to condense. Okay. So that is one observation here, important question. And the other is the hydrated salts. Now hydrated salts, this is what blue vitriol, copper sulfate, right? So when you are adding sulfuric acid to it, it will remove this water of crystallization. I hope you remember what is water of crystallization. We have done that in 9th standard. The fixed number of water molecules which enters into a loose chemical combination with the salt when it is crystallizing out from its hot saturated solution. Okay. So here copper sulfate is having 5 molecules of water of crystallization. So sulfuric acid will remove that water and you are getting just anhydrous copper sulfate plus 5H2O. So the blue color of the copper sulfate is because of the water of crystallization. The moment that water of crystallization is removed, it becomes white. So crystalline, blue, this will be amorphous and white. So both this come for state your observation. Okay. Now another type of question which is asked in sulfuric acid, we'll see when we discuss the board questions. We have discussed 5 chemical properties, right? Now you can be given in a jumbled manner 1 or 2 equations for each property and asked to report what property that is being shown, whether it is oxidizing nature, whether it is dehydrating nature or acidic nature or non-volatile nature. Okay. So that kind of a question is asked many times. Okay. So with that we have completed the chemical properties of sulfuric acid. Now details of reactions. Now I have just given representative reactions here so that you understand the concepts. Okay. But during the Zoom session we will be writing in detail all the reactions in the notebook. Okay. So this homework you have to do before the Zoom session. Homework 1 related to sulfuric acid. Just see the questions. Give reasons for the following. First is dilution of concentrated sulfuric acid is done only by the addition of acid to water and not vice versa. Okay. Second, sulfuric acid behaves as an acid when dilute. And should be there here. Then third, sulfuric acid is a strong acid. Fourth, sulfuric acid is a dibasic acid. Then fifth, sulfuric acid can form 2 types of salts. Concentrated sulfuric acid is used to prepare acids such as HCl and HNO3. Concentrated sulfuric acid is a strong oxidizing agent, and concentrated sulfuric acid is used as a dehydrating as well as a drying agent. Okay, so the answers to these questions you will get in the Anish tutorial textbook. You already have the textbook with you, so just open to the sulfuric acid chapter. Yes, the answers to all these questions will be there in that. So you have to note down all those questions properly in your notebook. Okay. Now what remains is the test for sulfuric acid, which I will explain when we are actually writing all the equations. Okay. So there are some 2-3 tests for sulfuric acid, and uses of sulfuric acid are again not in syllabus. Okay. So with that we complete the explanation part of sulfuric acid. Now when we meet in the Zoom session, we will be writing the other detailed reactions. But till then you complete all these notes. Okay. So happy studying and stay safe and healthy in the house. Thank you.